Hey everybody, what's going on? Happy Monday. Wanted to give you a JEDIOSHI update from the JEDIOSHI headquarters. Hey, if you would, before we get going, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and please share what we are doing here at JEDIOSHI. Let's take a look around the world. We'll start with equities as we normally do here because they are correlated. We're seeing now the traditional markets are closed and the futures markets are still running. So what's going to be interesting is how tomorrow we'll see the traditional markets open, and looks like they're going to open gap down. Traditional or futures markets are under pressure. This is the S&P futures chart. ES is the symbol. We know from watching, this is the daily chart here, we had a range down, we double kiss on the 618, got rejected, and now we're down. We're below the 236 today, and since last night, we are down even further below the 236 at about 42.89. If we look at, I guess what I'm looking at is for some support levels to hold at some point, and see if we can get a bounce, right? So there's that level there at 42.64. Then even inside of this fib range, you have 42.28, and then you have 41.36 back here or so, and then below that you have 4,053. So those are levels to watch on the downside. We'll see what happens. If the market gets a reason to bounce, say for example it's, hey, Russia, Ukraine solved, we're not going to war, whatever, or Fed easing or whatever, we may see a bounce here, and from one of these levels. So let's say it's down here. Let's say we keep dropping and then we get a bounce. I'm wondering, so my grand theory is that we have blow off in all markets. Perhaps we don't blow off. Perhaps we just get a retrace. Perhaps, we drop down and we climb. And this, in my opinion, would match more of a Bitcoin 702 retrace path that would match our fractal pattern, which would match what we're expecting, more so than equities blow off all-time highs and Bitcoin doesn't, right? So, perhaps that's what's going on, but we'll just have to keep watching it, and that's what we do every day, right? But that's S&P. It's no different here on the Dow Jones futures here. But we did hold into the weekend. We held this 236, but today we're down here below that, and so we are about in line with S&P. So Dow Jones and S&P tracking about the same on the fib levels. Remember, the Dow Jones 1929 fractal did come down to 236, but then jumped from there, right? So we're below that level from a 1929 fractals perspective. We are seeing some separation, at least in the futures, at least today. So we'll see if that holds. We'll see if we get even more separation from the 29 fractal, and we'll just have to watch that. This is the overlay of Bitcoin, Nasdaq, and Dow Jones and S&P, right? So Bitcoin's in white. The equity markets are colored red, orange, and blue. You can see we're tracking very closely. You have some separation, right? But as equities go, so goes crypto. We've seen periods of time, even back in here, where crypto's a leader, sort of in this bounce from September. Don't forget that. Bitcoin was a leader up to its top and has fallen since. Equities topped, lagging Bitcoin, and fell. And so we'll see who leads who on the way out, right? Or, just at some point I'm expecting a bounce. I'm expecting a bounce in equities and in crypto. Let's look at the 1 hour chart. We had some very interesting action last night and this morning. So over the weekend, this was, I think, this was Saturday night. Saturday night, we fell off this ledge, okay? We had a sell-off down to around 38. But Sunday afternoon, we started jumping and we kind of started ranging. And then Sunday night, we jumped up here. And then at about early morning this morning, we had a fall, followed by a jump back, and then another fall. So we're just seeing a lot of volatility here. If you go back, let's go look at the 4 hour chart here. But see, these candles are just overlapping. right? You're just painting, kind of like painting a layer. Really, I think of like, you know, as you look at candles, sometimes I think of like double wall versus single wall. So like this range right here would be a single wall gain. So there is a difference, and maybe we'll get into this someday, but there is a difference between painting a single wall layer and a double wall layer, as far as is how I perceive the strength of a move, anyways, and the sustainability of a move. You can see that on what you're printing on your candles. Again, this is 4 hour. They all the time frames look different. So yeah, we are chopping around heavily down here, and what we are probably most focused on for today and for the future is this fractal pattern. Now, one caveat or one note on this is that I did have to change the chart to log scale. Okay, what you need to know is that log scale axes paint a curve. I'm sorry, a straight line on log scale is the same as a curved line. We won't get into the math really, but it's a curved line on linear scale, right? So you can draw straight lines on log scale, but when you're doing that, you're actually drawing a curved line because your y-axis is logarithmic. It's just math really, but anyways, that's how I applied this the 2018 Bitcoin fractal to the current pattern. This is our 5+ month fractal. We've been following it to a T, or pretty closely. Last couple months we've seen some separation, right? Even in January here we were above it, but then we recombined on late January. We did not get the double dip that I was expecting. You know, if we followed the fractal, we'd get a double dip. We didn't get that. We got a minor dip here. Then we ran higher. And now we see some separation to the upside on the fractal. So one thing that you could do, and I shared this with you in the Telegram, but is if you take, let's zoom in on this a little bit. If you take this fractal pattern and you move it up, and this is kind of cheating, right? But if you move it up to about here, let's kind of match time. I know it doesn't match perfectly, but just allow me to match kind of that. And then look, that's a match to the fractal. That's a match to the fractal. Now we have this final dip. That's why I mentioned to you, there is a case that we go up only from here, that we have this drop. It's kind of a retest on this dynamic trend line here. You get a retest, you're printing a higher high on RSI. We can look at the daily. We'll look at that in a second. But you know, there is a case to be made that the low is in for now, and we go up only. However, if you, and this is what I shared with you as a picture form, I think I need to take it off log, or no, let me go back. What I did was this. If I hold the fractal to what it's been, and I do not adjust it, if I don't make that adjustment, then we could see a low at 36K, right? Which is the level that we were talking about in going into the weekend, levels to watch on the downside, right? So you do have a 36K level. It would break this line on log, but it would not break the line on linear. So that's just one of those things. People start messing with charts, right? And you can mess with your scales, etc. So this is linear. So and I don't have a fractal pattern here, but let me show you on linear. Look, on linear, we are far above this line. Okay. On logarithmic, I'm gonna switch to log. There we go. I redraw the line, and we have now kissed it. Let's see what RSI looks like. Yeah, RSI off the bottom, came in, put it in high, gave us a sell signal. We are under daily sell signal at the moment. And we would be looking for some strength, right? So the big question is, do we follow the fractal? If so, to what degree? Do we follow it closely? Is our dip done? Do we go up only? What do equities do? I believe if equities open tomorrow and have a sell-off, I'm not expecting Bitcoin to do well, right? I think they're too strongly correlated still. So I want to see a bounce in equities. I want to see it give us a bounce in Bitcoin. I want to see it. Let's see my own log. Yeah. And then there's this whole, we don't even have to get into it, but there's this whole debate about Fibonacci on a log scale because it's just percentages, but whatever, because these are measured on the window and not necessarily the scale, but that's too much for today, guys. Whoa, we don't want to hurt anyone. But so this is the fib. What I still am expecting is, in the bigger picture, is you know, it looks like this could be A, and then B, and then at some point I'm expecting a retrace up here. You know, there's another question of, do we need to come down here and then do an ABC? Right, so we'll be watching that. There's 4,000 different scenarios that might play out all the time. You know, what's most important, in my opinion, is looking at, or what I've been doing lately is looking at the lower time frame for signals, right? So, boom, under daily sell signal. What do we need? What do we need to get our daily buy signal back in order? Well, we would need to break this, in my opinion, a line here or a line here, break through prior period resistance on stronger RSI, come out here, we get a cross and a cross, and that would constitute a buy signal, just like we had here. Right, so you came down, underneath, cross, buy signal. I think it occurred on this candle, the one right before the blast. So it is a little subjective if you're on log scale and drawing linear lines. Just know that, you know, but that's about all you need to know. But you've seen my zoom in on the 15-minute system, the one I'm programming. I'm making, you know, it's and it's pretty accurate. So we're going to automate that, code it. It's going to be pretty easy, actually. It'll be pretty exciting to watch it run and see what we can do. But that's about all I had for today, guys. Watching the fractal, again, like I said, the fractal pattern. Are we done here? We go up. What do equities do? Do we have a further fall? I'm looking at 36 as a possibility. If 36 doesn't hold and if equities don't hold, I can see this at 33. And then there's always the chance that we make a new low. We'll come down here to maybe 30. So that is possible, guys. Possible for that to be our low, and then we ABC out. You know, we'll be watching this daily, and you know, constantly. So no surprises, but that's what's going on. Again, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for watching the channel. Thanks for subscribing, and please give it a like and share what we're doing. And enjoy your Monday, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.